Palmer boys, only 15 and 17 years of age. They're on the line. They've got that white cap with the black and blue stripes of Maroochydore, so watch for them. Did it tough qualifying, and a couple of the boys immediately go straight in, and almost immediately, one out the back there, I think, is that Shannon Eckstein there walking? You can see him just by the edge of the pool. He dives in, but maybe a little issue there. He's got no problem swimming, but is that a leg injury for one of the greatest of all time and one guy who's retiring at the end of the season?
Well, Josh, interesting to see, and we're going to have to wait to make a call on that one. There are a few rocks in the area, so whether or not he stubbed his toe or perhaps put a big kick into one of those rocks is a potential injury from Shannon Eckstein. But as I said, maybe wait and see when he comes out of this swim leg whether or not he can get around.
One thing I know is he won't stop trying, but it's not like Shannon Eckstein to immediately stop and just walk his way out. So that is very, very, well, interesting, and well, it's drama already, and that's not what you see. I know he was primed to try and win another title in his final year. He's chasing a 10th, and it'd be huge for him to take that home. But Shannon Eckstein, oh, that's drama already. So he's out the back, but in the lead at the moment, Matt Poole ahead of roommate, clubmate, teammate Matt Bevilacqua there. Kendrick Louis coming up the inside. He's in the blue cap, had to qualify through, not used to that. Jay Finesse above him in the blue cap, and then maybe Jackson Maynard there in the green and white of Currumbin as they work their way out to sea. One of the Palmer boys is right in the center at the moment. Ali Day in the blue alongside him. Another one, Corey Taylor there from Northcliffe, and you can throw a field over the guys who are 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way back to about 12th or 13th. And amazingly, Shannon Eckstein swam onto the back of this pack, even with that injury he's got. And it looks like it's Matt Poole and Kendrick Louis who've broken away and are going side by side in the lead.
They certainly are. Kendrick Louis, our current Australian Ironman champion, looking to kick off the start of the season where he left off, and in good form, racing very close to his home beach. Again, Manly just down on the southern end of this stretch, has gone to the front on the inside of this swim leg.
We talk about growing up locally. Matt Poole grew up right here, started his career at Queenscliff before moving to the Gold and Sunshine Coast, and now settling in at Kurrawa. So it is in first place Kendrick Louis coming around, the defending Australian champion, former series champion Poole, current series champion Bevilacqua, Ali Day's the Coolangatta Gold champion, Jackson Maynard sitting on him, Jay Finesse is there as well, Ben Carberry's working his way into it, really trying to grind through the field at the moment, but they've got a lot of work to do, these back markers here, if they're going to chase those top two spots. Guys in the bottom half of the field, of course Shannon Eckstein's there, but there's a lot of work for a couple of young guns there. Maybe Mitch Coombs in the center of the field trying to work his way into this one in just his first ever race at the top level. He's having a great swim, and he's working his way into 4th, 2 in from the right.
Well, Bevilacqua, he's sitting just on the back of our leaders, as is Max Brooks. So these blokes are certainly close enough if they're good enough, and a wave starting to build out the back, Josh, may make a difference for our back markers.
Ben Carberry's there as well, but here goes a wave. It's standing up. A couple are going to get it. Will our leaders push down it? No, it just fills up. One will get it. Kendrick Louis, great body surfing skills. He led around in the swim, got himself onto that bank, and managed to somehow get down that wave. That was all lower body and kicking his way onto that one. How long will he hold it for? Because the guys on the wave behind, they are going to ride this one all the way through to the beach, and Kendrick Louis is riding a ripple. That is unbelievable body surfing from the man from Manly. He stands up. He has advantage over the rest of the field at the moment, and that is the way you want to begin your Nutri-Grain Series title attack.
Well, Kendrick Louis is up on the beach and into transition. I could see Mitch Coombs come down that wave behind. I think Matt Poole was there as well, so it'll be interesting to see who held it furthest through transition, Josh.
A couple of these older guys know that they mightn't have the endurance that some of the young guys have, so they're going to try and get those top 2 spots, get through to the final, and have a bit of a rest in the middle. So it's Louis who leads around, Ali Day, Ben Carberry, Mitch Coombs, Matt Poole as well. They work their way in. That's the top 5, and Kendrick Louis straight into the rip. Corey Taylor's there, Kai Kinsella as well, James Lacey a fair way down, Daniel Rayward as well. He works his way around in his first ever race. A strong swim from the big fella who's made the move to the Surfers Paradise Club. Palmer, Brooks, Cooper Williams is there as well. Another one of the Palmer boys, Bevilacqua, Jackson Maynard, and Luke Cuff is a long, long way down.
Well, a few of our boys, Josh, who are quite up there and in the mix in that swim leg, and waves have made a big difference to put Bevilacqua in a little bit of trouble in this first race.
Yeah, you'd expect more from him, but one board sitting alone on the beach is Shannon Eckstein, and we've just got word a calf injury has, well, crueled him. It was as he was running in, we saw him stop, we saw him walk, and we know how tough Shannon is. He still managed to finish the swim, and I think he was going to try and race it out, but looks like a calf injury's ruined his day, and it might ruin his retirement season as well, but we will have to wait and see. So Eckstein is out, and it's now just the bottom 5 that will go home here. Kendrick Lewis still in the lead. Ali Day in 2nd place. Matt Poole in 3rd. Jay Finesse in 4th. Ben Carberry 5th. And Mitch Coombs hanging on to that top 5, top 6 at the moment in 6th place there in his first ever race.
Well, Josh, we're looking for the top 14, but the big one, as we spoke about in the women's, is the top 2, the automatic qualifiers. And at the moment, Kendrick Lewis is setting this race up to make sure he has every opportunity at that automatic qualification for the final.
Kendrick Lewis, he's not old, but he's one of the older heads in the field. The same with Ali Day, Matt Poole. They've been around for a long, long time, and they know how much of an advantage winning this first race can be. James Lacey working hard, and he's back towards the red zone. He's got a lot of work to do to get into this top 14 at the moment, but have a look out the back. There's a wave on. Ali Day pushing Matt Poole on the right-hand side going as well. Kendrick Lewis, I don't think he's going to get down it. Poole will get down it. Kendrick Lewis will get down it. Ali Day gets left behind just like that, and could this be our top 2 moment right here, right now, being decided?
Well, his day lacking the power. Coming off the back of the Coolangatta Gold, just didn't have the strength and the ability to get over the top of that one. Matt Bevilacqua looking to start working on the way home now. He's racing with Surface Paradise Dan Raywood, our debutant and our current Kellogg Series champion.
He tried to jam Dan Raywood in the can there, but no such luck. Raywood, he was good skills to get himself back out in front. James Lacey's got himself a runner that looks like it's going to turn into a wave as well, so he will breathe a little bit easier and get himself back into this one. Poole leads around. Kendrick Lewis, former training partners at Mooloolaba, both from the Sydney's Northern Beaches there, now at different clubs, and Bevilacqua looks around. He knows there's a wave coming, puts the head down, starts to apply the pressure and gets a wave back into this, and his title defence could be in tatters after race 1. Ben Carberry, he is in 3rd. Ali Day, well, formerly the same club at Warilla Barrack Point, now at different clubs on the Gold Coast as well. They're in 3 and 4, and here is back. James Lacey's got himself into it. 5, 6, 7, and 8. It is Corey Taylor in 5, 6 is Furness, Lacey 7, and 8 is Coombs, and that famous Northcliffe cap keeps popping up in this men's race as well. Luke Cuffs there alongside Bevilacqua. The top 8 are around, and this is where it gets interesting. Palmer works his way ahead of his brother there. Max Brooks goes through, so does Jackson Borg, Rayward, the 2 boys from Currumbin, Kinsella and Maynard, and they're all chasing our 2 leaders out in front.
Well, they are Louis and Poole, 2 of the older heads, Josh, in this race as Cooper Williams comes around. Plenty of work to do for Cooper into this final ski leg. And let's talk about the young guns coming through, the likes of Kinsella, the likes of Williams, also in there, the Palmer brothers. Adam Palmer is an under-17, debuting in his first ever Nutri-Grain Ironman race.
Unbelievable stuff, and not just debuting in it, he's really mixing with these big boys. You can see them in there pushing very, very hard. He's in the center of it. TJ Hendy, we haven't spoke much about him. He kicked off his summer last year right here with a victory, and he's looking to do the same here, but he's right in the center of that pack on the light blue ski, number 7 on the far side. And those guys just getting, well, jacked by a few little waves. You can see a big swell starting to come through, and our 2 leaders at the moment, Matt Poole on the black with the yellow nose ski, Kendrick Lewis on the white with the black nose there. They're out in front, and a couple of boys, Ben Carberry chasing very, very hard alongside Ali Day.
Well, no, Ben Carberry is a very strong ski paddler, and these boys out in front will be fully aware of that as they start to work on a little bump. It looks like Poole and Louis are going to take this one back to the beach.
Oh, big risk, big reward for these 2. If they can hold it all the way to the beach, it will set them up for a top 2 finish, but it's very tough to hold some of these waves on the way home. Lacey and Coombs side by side, working hard, and they've done a great job. Poole, the nose goes under, so does Kendrick Lewis. They put the power down and get out in front of it, and that is top-class paddling from 2 top-class Ironmen at the moment, and that really puts the pressure on the rest of the field, who are working their way out to sea right now. And in that red zone, Kinsella's there as well. Rayward, TJ Hendy might be on the edge, and they might be looking around and counting numbers, but they've got to remember Shannon Eckstein has pulled out of this race, so there is not one going around, and Cooper Williams is still in the red zone there, as well as Poole rolls his way up the beach looking very comfortable. Kendrick Lewis as well, and Poole and Lewis, well, I know you take it when it comes, but those 2 look super determined to get across the line and get that jump automatically through to the final, and that's exactly what they've done. On the way home, no dramas at all for James Lacey. We start to count numbers, and this is where it gets interesting. Ali Day up the beach, no problems. Ben Carberry as well, so we'll have 4 across the line, relatively easy, but it's the bottom half of the field where things are going to start to get super interesting. Corey Taylor runs past Carberry into 4th place there, so that's 5 across the line. And remember, we're taking the top 14. Mitch Coombs works his way up. James Lacey as well. A good debut for Mitch Coombs.
Well, a great debut there from the under-19 competitor, Mitch Coombs. James Lacey crosses the line as well. So James Lacey in 7th. Maynard comes up and around. Bevilacqua was there as well, Josh. And these boys all looking to get through to that second race.
And the pace starts to go. They've all qualified, but this is the sprint up the line. Here they go. TJ Hendy looks like he'll get in as well. So no problems there at all. TJ Hendy might just be the last one, actually. I think he's managed to survive. TJ Hendy in 14th place. Picks up a paddle pop stick. And just like that, we say goodbye. Adam Palmer, the younger of the Palmer boys, he will finish in 15th place. He will not qualify through. Neither will Kai Concealer. Cooper Williams comes up and around, and you can see him hurting there. Very disappointing. Ray Ward in his first ever performance, he will get an 18th place. Matt Palmer as well, it will be 19th, and Shannon Eckstein, he will get 31 points for not finishing this race there. A great performance from the Palmer boys, Ray Ward, Conceal and Williams. They're only young. They've got a big future ahead of them there. And that is all she wrote. We've got 2 through to the final race, 12 through to round 2, and we've got 6 that are going home. Poole and Louis, no dramas at all. They will be in race 3. Day, Taylor, Carberry, Coombs, Lacey and Maynard will have to go the hard way through round 2. We'll go over the page. Furness, Bevilacqua, Brooks, Borg, Cuff and TJ Hendy just survived. They'll all head to race 2. Adam Palmer from Maroochydore, Kai Concealer from Currumbin, Alex is Cooper Williams, Surfers is Daniel Rayward, Matt Palmer from Maroochydore, and, well, a big shout out to Shannon Eckstein. We hope to see him back bigger and better than ever.
She told me, keep your eyes open, and then, baby, you can stay pure, you can stay sweet, but you see, I learned better firsthand. Mama and my daddy, he's paranoid, lock the doors and the windows from those boys, never let them in, they're thinking that you're just a toy, but I need just to take a chance on you.
And after race 1 of the Eliminator, Matt Poole and Kendrick Louis have the golden ticket through to race 3. And we said goodbye to 6 of the best in the business. Race 2 is on the line. Board, ski, swim is the order. 12 athletes with the top 6 to advance, the bottom 6 to go home. Let's take a look at the start list. Bevilacqua, Borg, Brooks, Carberry, Coombs, Cuff, Ali Day, Jay Finesse, all on the first page. And Jack Hansen, there's a good mix between, well, young guns with nothing to lose and then guys who have got a lot on the line. TJ Hendy, Lacey, Maynard and Taylor.
Well, let me name the 6, Josh. The 6 that are going to go through to the final here. Matt Bevilacqua will be 1. Ali Day will be 2. James Lacey will be 3. Max Brooks will be 4. I think Jay Finesse, I'll throw him in the mix. He'll be number 5. And maybe Benny Carberry with that move to Currumbin might be enough to get him through to that final round, race 3.
I will call you fearless Jack Hansen. He is called the top 6. Don't worry about first place. He'll pick them all for you. The boys are off and away. And immediately straight to the front, Ben Carberry, he is out and flying. Corey Taylor's alongside him, Mitch Coombs as well, and a little bit further back in the pack, it's going to be very tough for these guys. Maynard Lacey and Bevilacqua all side by side. Couple, Jackson Borg right at the back, not quite in the rip. Mitch Coombs has decided to go wide and immediately goes from third place back in the pack, and you can see how much of a difference it makes jumping out of that rip and getting into the tough water there. Ali Day paddles through, Brooks is chasing him, and Bevilacqua, he looks a little bit uncomfortable at the moment, doesn't he? Stuck in the middle of this pack, and top 6, you survive. Bottom 6, you go home, and we got 3 who've broken away.
Well, plenty of turbulent water in that pack for Bevilacqua. He's just pushed his fray to the tip, the front end, the top end of it with James Lacey there. We see the 2 boys on screen going toe-to-toe, as they did throughout the series last summer, and now these boys trying to work to stay with our lead 3, looking for the top 6, Josh. The top 6 to go through to race 3 today, and Corey Taylor heading out to the Cairns ahead of Ben Carberry and Ali Day.
Corey Taylor, the Kiwi, of course, finished 3rd at the World Championships 2 years ago. We'll head back to the World Championships this year in Adelaide as part of that Kiwi team, looking to take a 4th straight teams title. So New Zealand doing the job at the moment. Matt Bevilacqua, we can see him on the red board. He's trying to chase down this lead pack at the moment alongside James Lacey there. And as they turn the can, they give each other a little bit of room because they know if they end up on top of each other, it's going to be very, very tough to bring back our leaders. Ali Day, he's trying to go past Corey Taylor on the blue board. Corey Taylor's in the centre there, and Ben Carberry wearing the green and white cap of Currumbin. Closest to the screen, there's a little wave on offer out the back. Mitch Coombs pushes down on the right-hand side alongside Max Brooks there. Luke Cuff, Bevilacqua. Oh, Bevilacqua's missed it. Bevilacqua's gone off the back of it, and James Lacey is the only one who's picked it up. No, Corey Taylor as well. So he gets it. They come together, and that's exactly what you want. Did James Lacey just had a little word to himself there? Maybe a little congratulations, or maybe focus on what he's got to do at the moment, but he's very happy with himself because he's on a wave out in front with Corey Taylor.
Well, a huge run there from James Lacey up the inside has put him on that lead wave and was sitting back in 4th or 5th, so a great little wave and skills there from Lacey have put him into the lead in race 2.
He's flown under the radar for the last 12 months, that's for sure. Finished 3rd in the series last year and got 2 runner-up finishes in rounds, but nobody really talked about him. He's one of the best Ironmen in the business. And these guys, the Bevilacquas, the Days, the Pools, the Louis, they all kind of get the limelight. And James Lacey's quickly developing into one of the best in the business under everybody's nose. Cuff, Carberry, Brooks, Coombs, Day, Furness, Bevilacqua, Borg, Maynard, and TJ Hendy. That's how they go onto the ski, and they're all chasing this man, James Lacey.
Well, I love the intensity of Ben Carberry there through transition. He made sure he did the work, and the boys move out of the way like there is a tank coming through. He absolutely runs through absolutely anyone, and Carberry will not stop at anything.
Talk about unstoppable. Ben Carberry is an unstoppable force once he gets momentum up and going, and Corey Taylor in the rip chasing James Lacey at the moment. You can see how close to that rock they go, and just like this, Ali Day maybe not in the rip on that right-hand side there, and oh, they come together, and this is how close Ironman racing is. Luke Cuff alongside Max Brooks there, and Jackson Maynard goes up in between them, and Jackson Borg decides to go the other side of the rock, so that is dangerous stuff, but these Ironmen, they're fearless.
Well, this is where these boys are trying to make a big move, and Mitch Coombs there just gets hit and over the top of a little one, has started to fall out the back, so Coombs' day could be done at this point unless he can find something to drag him back onto that chase pack.
Number 12 there, Mitch Coombs, he is out the back and definitely in the red zone as well, so very tough for him. These 2 men not in the red zone at all, and this is an interesting race. You get no reward for winning this one, but you want to stay far enough out in front that you don't end up in any trouble at all, so you got to put a lot into this race, but not too much to make sure you got plenty in the final. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, absolutely it does, Josh. You want to be in the top 6, but you want to make sure that being out in front there is an advantage. You can conserve some of that energy. You can control what you're doing a little bit more, and you feel a whole lot more comfortable. These boys at the back, we see on the face there of Max Brooks, a little bit more panic, a little bit more worry, because if the chasers are close enough, they will come up and pass.
So we've got 2 out in front, we've got 9 in the main group, and Mitch Coombs off the back, all on his own, and our leaders are going to get another one here. So Corey Taylor on the red, black and white ski, James Lacey on the grey ski with a blue tip there. They asked, they received, and a nice little wave back to shore, and that has to be the best feeling in sport at the moment. They've managed the board leg, they've managed the ski leg with little drama. One swim leg to go, but if we think back to the women's race, Jordan Mercer had it all wrapped up at this point, and then she went out here. You've got to be able to swim in surf sports, and they're all over the ocean out the back. TJ Hendy's got one. Max Brooks, as we ride on with him, he comes down a wave. That's him, center of the screen. Out the back, Mitch Coombs has got a wave to get back into it. So we've got a group of 2 and then a group of 10 on 2 different waves, all chasing 6 spots.
Well, I don't think these leaders will make the same mistake as Jordan Mercer. They've had the opportunity to watch it. They've also gone round this course twice already today, so these boys should be well equipped in terms of knowledge as to what's happening out here in the surf.
So 1's Corey Taylor, 2 James Lacey, Max Brooks in 3, TJ Hendy in 4, 5 is Ali Day. He comes up and around 6, Jackson Borg 7, Ben Carberry 8, Cuff 9 is Bevel Aqua, 10 is Maynard as he goes around there. Finesse is in 11, 12 is Coombs. That is the field. 6 go forward, 6 go home, and at the moment the current defending series champion is in 3rd last place.
Well, our 2 boys making their way out. 2 leaders out past the rocks, using that rip and racing extremely smart. Taylor and Lacey have made a big move and continuing to go away as our chasers start to come through, Josh. And might call it the start of the 6 men that get through. We've currently got 3 in the red zone, so I could be in a little bit of trouble here.
We've got 3 in the red zone, a couple more that are tight in the pack there. It could be the kiss of death from you at the moment as Max Brooks goes up into 3rd. TJ Hendy into 4th, Ali Day in 5th. The matching Surfers Paradise caps, they're blue with the gold star as Lacey breaks out of that rip. Corey Taylor stays in it a little bit longer, and I think the stronger swimmers can break out of that rip a little bit earlier. They don't mind pushing a bit of water, getting across to that cam, but if you're a weaker swimmer and it's not your best leg, you've got to stay in it for as long as possible, and that's what Corey Taylor's done. He's a very, very good match racer. He loves going head-to-head with guys, and this will suit him down to the ground, but these guys want to make sure they get around as drama-free as possible, and you've got to find a wave on the way home. Otherwise, it opens it up for the back markers because you might be sitting 1st and 2nd, but it only takes 5, 6 on a wave, and you can be in the red zone.
Well, Taylor's big move now is to jump onto the feet of James Lacey and sit. Allow him to conserve that energy and stay as far away from that chase pack as possible. These boys need to put themselves on a lead wave away from the chasers to ensure they're going through to race 3.
The boys, it looks like they're going nowhere as that can comes into shot. They look like they're swimming up and down on the spot ever so slightly. So much water movement in the corner here, and have a look at that wave. If you get one of those as soon as you come around the can, you can get it all the way to the beach as they start to work their way out to sea at the moment. And a couple of these guys drifting to the back. I thought Ben Carberry would be further up the field at this point. He's a strong ski paddler and a great swimmer, but he's lagging in the red zone. Matt Bevilacqua, he is not having the day he wanted. Started his season with a 14th last year. He wants to go better than that and make it a little bit easier on himself at the moment. Ali Day's worked his way into 3rd place away from the rest of the pack and is sitting comfortably. And as long as, well, nobody gets away from behind, he'll be very happy to swim all the way to the beach if he has to. TJ Hendy's being swamped as well. Day's working his way up on Brooks, who's now into 3rd as they go around that final can. And our 2 leaders out in front at the moment, James Lacey and Corey Taylor, look like they're doing it comfortably.
Well, it is Lacey still in the lead, sitting ahead of Taylor, sitting comfortable in behind Josh and trying to, as we said, conserve that energy, save as much as they can for race 3. But we've seen waves come through previously, and it could be our chase pack of 3 or 4 that could be in trouble from our back markers if a set does roll through.
James Lacey does the backstroke there, looking for a wave. 3rd place is Max Brooks. 4th, Ali Day. Jackson Borg in 6, sorry. TJ Hendy in 7. Jay Finesse in 8. So they're right on the edge there as they start to work their way home. Lacey's doing more backstroke than freestyle. He's looking for the easy ride, and he knows one wave could come through, and this might be it. Out the back, I just don't know if anyone's going to get down it. Here they go. 1 or 2 might try and push. Brooks misses it. Borg misses it. Our 2 leaders, they're going to have to try and get it broken. Very tough. Out the back, there's a wave as well. This is going to pick up the back markers. Ben Carberry goes down it. Jackson Maynard goes down it. TJ Hendy gets it as well. It looks like Max Brooks has missed it. It looks like Ali Day's missed it as well. Mitch Coombs is riding out in front, and they'll catch up with our leaders here. So this race has been flipped on its head. If you were at the back, you're now at the front, and have a look at that. From last place on the ski to first place in the swim, Mitch Coombs is in this one up to his eyeballs.
Well, he is now. A great swim there from Coombs, and a great wave for our back markers has brought them right up into this race. I see Luke Cuff, he's in the mix now as well. So 3 of the Northcliffe boys working their way up. Corey Taylor could be in a little bit of trouble here from our second place and holding comfortably to now almost on the cut.
Well, it was tighter than he wanted it to be, but James Lacey will take the win. TJ Hendy gets there, Jackson Maynard as well, Corey Taylor, Luke Cuff, Mitch Coombs. That might be it. That might be all she rode. They missed out there. Jackson Borg and Ben Carberry both go home. They're in 7 and 8. Ali Day, 2nd last year. Max Brooks, 4th last year. Matt Bevilacqua, 1st last year. They are all out, and that is how they'll finish. Jay Finesse doesn't qualify as well. You are the kiss of death, Jack Hansen, because half of the guys you picked and some of the heavy race favourites have finished not only outside the top 6 in this one, but outside the top 10 for the round, and not the way you want to start your title defence for Matt Bevilacqua.
Well, absolutely not. Bevilacqua will not be happy with the 12th finish, and will be looking for that to be his throwaway round. Probably a similar position, however, to where he kicked off last year.
Yeah, almost exactly the same. A 14th last year, a 14th this year, but no dramas at all. And have a look at those names. Ali Day, he was in 3rd place. Brooks, he was right up in the mix as well. Finesse and Bevilacqua both miss out. That is race 2. Race 3 is coming up.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Well, these are the 6 men who went home after race 2 of the Eliminator for the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Ironman Series. Round 1 from Queenscliff. We will not see them in the final. We're down to just 8 at the moment. Boys, craft is on the line, getting set to go. And let's take a look at the start list. Mitch Coombs, in just his first ever race, will make the final of the Eliminator. An unbelievable performance. Kendrick Louis and, of course, Matt Poole sat out race 2. Cuff, Hendy, Lacey, Maynard and Taylor forced to go round. And we saw in the women's race, Jack Hansen, it makes such a difference if you sit that one out. It almost guaranteed the girls a podium. Will it be the same here in the boys, or can somebody jump up and steal it from Poole and Louis? Only 2 of our pre-qualified 6 in this final 8, Lacey and Poole. They're off and away straight into the water for that opening ski leg, and once again, like a broken record, they all go for the rib.
Well, they certainly do. The boys all making their way north, and Kendrick Louis off to a very quick start. We see TJ Hendy out the back to start as well, and it looks like Poole and Louis over to the left are absolutely flying and kicking off where they left off in race 1.
Ski, swim, board is the order, and side by side our 2 leaders. Lacey trying to chase them, just like Maddie Dunn did in the women's race, and there's a wave on out the back, but Poole tries to pop up and over it, no dramas. Louis goes as well, Lacey, and then, the rest of them. Hendy just cops a little bit. Maynard goes sideways on the way over, and have a look at the gap and have a look at the difference that rest's made for our 2 leaders as they go up over a big wave there, and that's going to slow the back markers down.
Well, the back marker's about to get hit now. It looks like Corey Taylor up and over. Mitch Coombs is well well out the back door. The young gun from Northcliffe looking to get hit, but it's Louis and Poole absolutely flying out in front. Josh, well rested and ready to fly.
I think the difference from Mitch Coombs is the defending Australian under-19 Ironman champion. He just doesn't have that pure size and strength that comes with those a couple of years of being older like these big boys. He just struggles to get that ski up and going, and that's only going to come with time, more training, a little bit of growth and development.
Well, Josh, the boys out in the lead, they have 12 years on Mitch Coombs in terms of age. They have 12 years on Mitch Coombs instead of strength.
And experience as well.
And experience as well. And we watched them run the Ocean, and James Lacey is one trying to close that gap. It looks like he'll pick up a little run here, but at the moment, Poole is making the best of it on the beach he grew up on.
Oh, Matt Poole, he sits up. He knows he's got to go this one. He's all in on this race. He sets himself straight. Kendrick Lewis pulled off the back. It's a risky move, but it's one that worked for him in race one. Poole goes out the front, applies the pressure. He's a big risk, big reward player, and it's paid off this time. He is out in front by a mile. Kendrick Lewis decided not to go. He's on the wave behind. It's a little smaller, but he's given up a lot of gap to our leader, Matt Poole.
Well, Kendrick Lewis going to have to try and hold his skis straight now. He's been joined by our chasers, James Lacey, Jackson Maynard and Corey Taylor. They're all there now, so a race in four for that second place, but Matt Poole on a wave of his own and about to hit the beach.
Matt Poole is a long, long way down the beach, but you can see there, his old man grabs the ski. He's forced to run up in between the duckies, and that gap's just going to be closed because these guys, they took a better line, second, third, fourth, and fifth at the moment, and you can see that gap went from a huge distance down to about 10 metres, and Louis back in second, Lacey's in third, and we'll wait to see the rest of the field as they run up and around. One goes through, two goes through, Lacey's in three, Maynard is in four, Corey Taylor is in five, and I don't know where the last three, maybe Mitch Coombs, TJ Hendy, and Luke Cuff are. There's Cuff, there's Hendy, and Mitch Coombs is in eighth as they come through. They're close enough if they're good enough.
So Poole and Louis, once again, the two boys out in the lead, go to the rip. They put themselves in the right position, race smart, and attack right from the start of each leg. Poole currently leading the way as Coombs comes round. He's got plenty of work to do if he's going to pull himself back into this.
You can see he wasn't looking confident there. Very, very tough to do three races back-to-back against the best in the business, and Kendrick Lewis swam up alongside Matt Poole there. Poole in the blue, Louis in the high-vis green there with a blue cap on. Lacey right on their tail at the moment with plenty of work to do if he wants to get back into the lead of this one. Jackson Maynard is in fourth place, chasing very hard, and Corey Taylor hot on his heels. That's our top five. You can see sixth in Cuff just to the right, the left-hand side of the screen at the moment, trying to work his way back into it with TJ Hendy right on his heels, and Mitch Coombs isn't even in the shot yet, and Matt Poole's got out of the rip very early. You can see the rock at the top of the screen there. Most of the guys are swimming out at least to that rock and then cutting across. Not Kendrick Lewis, not Matt Poole. They're big, they're strong, and they're rested, and they got out of the rip and they're going for the can.
Well, it's not going to make a huge difference in this one, Josh, because it seems as though the chasers are all doing exactly the same thing, and these boys trying to take a quicker line, a shorter line to get across to that first turning can and get themselves around.
Oh, the likes of Luke Cuff, TJ Hendy, you'd think they'd stay in that rip a little bit longer there. They're not the strongest swimmer compared to these lead boys, and you can use all the help you can get when you're tired. So I think that's a mistake that may come back to cost them as Louis dives deep and under. Poole goes over the top of that big swell, and it's just this section of the swim where they don't seem to be moving very quick. The swell's really pushing through at Queenscliff, and they're struggling to get out to that turning can, and it looks like Jackson Maynard's swimming back onto this pack at the moment, so maybe it's down to 2 body lengths from third to fourth, and then Corey Taylor's just hanging on in fifth, and even 6 and 7 are struggling to get back on at the moment, but it's Louis, Poole, Lacey, Maynard, and then Corey Taylor. That's your top 5.
Well, let's talk about training, Josh, and these boys do this day in, day out. Louis and Poole out in front. They've had more rest than what they would usually get on a normal training run or training day. The boys chasing behind, probably less rest in between each effort than what they get each day in and out of training. So well-rested Louis and Poole will be looking to make a big move, and we can see the fatigue starting to set in. James Lacey starting to fall out the back a little bit. Jackson Maynard was right on the feet of Lacey at one stage, out to the cans and is now a 3 or 4 metre gap back.
Oh, there's a wave out the back. There's a big wave out the back. I don't know if it's going to break. It may come through. Kendrick Louis looks. It is going to break. Who will pick it up? Lacey's going to get it. Poole might as well. Oh, maybe none of them will. I just don't know. Kendrick Louis stuck his head up and that just pulled him off the back. But have a look at the shoot he's got from that. He didn't even ride the front of that wave. He rode the back side of it, but the back markers have got one as well. Poole picks it up on the left-hand side, broken. Great skills from him. Unbelievable. Lacey gets it there in the center and Jackson Maynard on the far right-hand side, and they're going to catch up to Kendrick Louis. And after all that great body surfing from Louis, that gap has been eliminated.
Well, a great swim from the boys. They put the gap into the rest of the field, and now they've pulled them back. But it looks as though our two leaders, our two fresh competitors, have managed to hold that wave further than anyone else. A great effort there from Louis and Poole, but Lacey and Maynard are not done yet.
Body surfing fresh. They might have been able to hold their breath just a little bit longer. As soon as you put your head up, your hips drop. If your hips drop, you fall off the wave, and that's probably what Kendrick Louis and Matt Poole were able to do. 2 or 3 more strokes with their head down, 2 or 3 more meters, and that's the gap going into the final leg. They're onto the board now. Louis in 1, Poole in 2, Lacey in 3, and Maynard in 4. That's your top 4 as they go through. There's a gap back to 5, 6, 7, and 8. A long, long way back to the rest of the field there, and they're trying to get back into this one. Corey Taylor gets the rev up from Wally Williams as he goes through. TJ Hendy's in 6th place. Mitch Coombs and Luke Cuff are in 7 and 8 at the moment. The Northcliffe pairing as they stand up. It's Cuff in 7, Coombs in 8, and if they want to get on the podium here, or TJ Hendy wants to defend his series race, he's got a lot of work to do in this final board leg.
Plenty to do from there from TJ Hendy. Luke Cuff coming around, going into his strongest leg, the board, but I think way too much room on these leaders. James Lacey looks unstoppable. James Lacey looks as though he's gone to the front, and he's right up there mixing it with our 2 leaders who have certainly had a lot more recovery time.
This is almost a replay of the women's final. We've got the 2 girls who qualified through, and then Maddie Dunn just hanging on, just hanging on. This time we've got the 2 boys in Kendrick Louis and Matt Poole who qualified through race 1, and James Lacey who's just hanging on. Is it going to be a repeat where Maddie Dunn got the job done? Will Lacey get it done? But I think he's just hanging on at the moment. Kendrick Louis looks the best for mine. He looks the freshest. He's gone to the front multiple times, and he's working very, very hard on the front of this board leg.
Well, up and over one there, the leaders. Jackson Maynard trying to stay over to the left, the northern side of screen, a little bit more to try and use that rip. Luke Cuff looks as though he's headed fairly straight, so trying to take the shortest course out to their cans. Potentially not the fastest, but has plenty of work to do to pull himself back up into this race. Corey Taylor chasing Jackson Maynard. Kendrick Louis is going to lead into the cans with Matt Poole sitting in 2 and James Lacey 3.
The old heads of Kendrick Louis and Matt Poole have just outsmarted James Lacey. Louis pushed him wide. Matt Poole ducked on the inside as well, and Lacey went from equal first into 3rd place just like that, and sometimes you just can't beat experience there. They've just got those couple of years of racing at the top, and Lacey will get it over time, and experiences like this will make him a whole lot better. But we've now got a drag race for home. Will it be a sprint up the beach like we saw in the girls' race? Will Kendrick Louis get away, or will somebody else jump up and steal this one? Maynard's turned the can in 4th. He's a long way down. There's a little wave on offer as well. Corey Taylor's in 5th. He's close enough if good enough, but it's going to take a big wave and a sprint up the beach. Here we go. This is it. There's a little wave on offer on the left-hand side. Lacey's going to get it. Poole looks like he'll pick it up as well. Can Kendrick Louis get it on the far right-hand side? We can see all 3 men go down the front, and we're on for a sprint up the beach at the moment. Lacey on the left-hand side's never won a round. He's had 2 runner-up finishes. Poole's done it all before. He's done it in some sprint finishes. Kendrick Louis, the defending Australian champion, he's risen to the top when it's mattered most. The 2 behind them as well, they're close. If one of them makes a mistake, there's a podium spot up for grabs. The boys put the power down across the gutter. Here we go. Poole and Lacey, they're both up. They're up side by side. Louis stays a little bit longer. I think he's out of it. Lacey's got the jump on Poole. Poole won't get there. Lacey will get the job done, and what an unstoppable performance from James Lacey. Gets his first ever Nutri-Grain Ironman Series round win over Matt Poole and Kendrick Louis. And just as the women's race played out, one of the underdogs gets it done who had to go the hard way. James Lacey, a huge performance there. The sprint for 4th and 5th was tight as well. Jackson Maynard just got there ahead of Corey Taylor in a very, very close finish. And of course, every race counts, every place counts for the overall point score. All these guys will count this score. And 6th and 7th is Luke Cuff. TJ Hendy, look at him, he knows one place can make all the difference overall. He's going to run hard all the way to the end. Great stuff from TJ Hendy. A strong start to his summer. Lacey from Mermaid Beach on top. Round 1 of the Nutri-Grain Ironman series, and he will celebrate his first ever victory tonight. Matt Poole finishes 2nd again. Kendrick Louis so close and so good in 3rd place. That is how the race was run and won.
Here we are, guys. This is race 1. Our winner, the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Ironman. Long legs Lacey from Mermaid Beach. Mate, what an outstanding performance.
Yeah, absolutely stoked, Ty. That was a really tough race. I mean, had to take a few moments there to myself, but oh, it was awesome. I'm so stoked.
Mate, as a young fella now, you've come through the ranks at Mermaid ever since a nipper. You dream of these sort of moments, correct? But to do it the hard way, 3 races, back to back to back. Mate, what a performance, honestly. Outstanding.
Thanks, Ty. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of racing I like, you know, back to back, backing up. I'm not the strongest or the most powerful off the beach, so I like to sort of do the training and back my fitness, and I was really, really stoked with that result.
Mate, what does it mean for a young, well, we call yourself a young fella, but what does it mean to crack your first ever win of the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Ironman series?
I mean, it's awesome. It's a childhood dream, like there's no other way of saying it. Really amazing. Got 2 seconds last year. Was a bit disappointed with that, but good to convert on this one and get the win.
Well, a big conversion from James Lacey gets him on the top step of the podium, and a couple of bridesmaid finishes last year, and 2 men alongside him that'll be happy with their starts, both chasing the overall title. Matt Poole and Kendrick Louis there, valiant in 2nd and 3rd. And it'll be interesting to see how they battle it out all summer long, and they raise the champion's hand there, and he'll be the one to watch as we head throughout the summer. 100 points, Poole gets 88, Louis 78. We head further down the page, and it's probably more about the guys who didn't finish in that top 8 than the guys who did. A couple of the big names, Day, Bevilacqua, Brooks, not finishing inside the top 10, so they'll have to fight back from down the standings all summer long. It's going to be very interesting, and of course Shannon Eckstein with a 20th place finish here today.